Good evening. Good evening, my I am family, and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's talk domestic violence. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Each and every last one of you. To my newcomers, welcome to I am on domestic violence platform as we talk domestic violence. Like, tag, and share. Like, tag, and share. Welcome, 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 welcome. We're going to get right on into it, and um we're going to do we're going to revisit a actual um show that I did in 2021. We're going to revisit that topic. We're going to go inside the mind of an abuser. And the reason why I wanted to revisit this topic was because the rate of domestic violence is climbing, and the rate of death in a domestic relationship is actually climbing as well. So I wanted to revisit two topics that I did back in 2021. And one of those topics is inside the mind of the abuser. And also another one I will do on next Friday. I want to revisit them because I felt that they were very, very important. Some of the stories that I have read pertaining to domestic violence and domestic violence relationships, to a point where somebody is actually losing losing their life. And I also did a segment on inside the minds of a victim as well. I went inside the mind of a victim as well as the mind of an abuser. But the two that I really wanted to go over was, again, the inside the mind of abuser, and then another one that I'm going to go over, revisit next Friday, is, it's five signs that you can tell that someone is in a relationship. And I wanted to go deeper, that someone is in a domestic violence relationship. And I wanted to go deeper into those signs, because here lately, a lot of people, from the stories that I have been reading, um, a lot of people are failing. Family and friends are really failing their loved ones, when it comes to domestic violence. They're really failing their loved ones because really they don't know the signs, and they don't know how to really um, help their loved one that's in a domestic violence situation, toxic situation, relationship, however you want to call it. So I wanted to revisit those topics and go into a little bit more details. But those signs, the five signs, Um, I'm going to go over that next Friday. Um, but we're going to get on into the inside of the mind of an abuser. We're going to go inside the mind of an abuser. Like, tag, and share this live if you know someone that may be in in a domestic situation. Share it with them. If you know someone that you feel that, the one that they may be with is, could be violent, share it with them. Like, tag, and share. Share it to your groups, share it to your page, invite someone onto the live. I welcome you all. And I'm trying to share. There we go. All right, there we go. I got all of that out of the way. It takes a little longer for me to get it all tagged and shared into the groups. So let's go inside the mind of an abuser, the one that actually um, does all the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, the mental abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, inside the mind of that person, inside the mind of that person that abuses someone in those areas. Let's go right into it. So, as we know, abuse is the lowest form of interaction. Okay. It is the lowest form of interaction between a couple. It can be between, best friends. It can be between, sister and brother. It's the lowest form of interaction between people. Let's say people, okay? Um, And remember that an abuser can be a man or a woman. It's not always the man. It can be a woman. It can be a woman. It's not even always the man is the one that's doing the physical abuse, or always the man the one that's doing the verbal abuse. It's not always the man. A woman can be an abuser too. So in public, and this we're going inside the minds of an abuser. Okay, so in public, he or she can be charming, as we already know this. They can be very, very charming. They can wear that mask that they just this goody goody two shoe, lovey dovey. But when that mask come off, it's like a monster came out. So, like I say, he or she can be charming, kind, likable, lovable, big old teddy bear, very gentle, very soft spoken in the beginning. They can be, I love you, and there's no one like you. I'm never going to leave you. I'll never hit you. I'll never abuse you. I never treat you like uh like your last past relationships. That's the number one line. That is the number one line, is that I will never treat you the way you was treated in your last relationships. How many times have I heard that line? you know, that's that's that mask that they wear until you get into this relationship and that mask falls off. Because in private, he or she feels justified to lie, name call, control, and lay hands on you to hurt you. That's their mindset. That's their mindset. So what exactly is going through his or her mind to condone this kind of behavior? The abuser has a specific thought process when it comes to his or her partner or victim. Um, In his or her mind, she or he sees him or her as an object without choices, emotions, or needs. Okay? We're inside the mind of the abuser. So, again, what exactly is going through this person's mind to, to condone this kind of behavior? Again, the abuser has a specific thought process. When it comes to abuse, it's all in the mind. Okay, it's all about how someone thought process is. It's all in their mind. Um, they have a specific thought process when it comes to their victim. All right, and in their mind, they see their victim as an object. Okay. They see them as an object without choices, that they can't make their own choices. They see them without emotion, that they can't feel sad. They can't be happy. This is how this is how the abuser see their victim. Um, they see them as an object without needs. So you hear the word object, the abuser inside, in their mind, they don't see them as a person. They see them as an object. What is an object? A block, a ball, this pen. They see them as an object. They don't see them as a human being that has feelings. They don't see them as a human being um that can cry, that can be emotional. They don't see them like that, because when you see an object doesn't have feelings. An object doesn't get emotional. So since we're talking about the inside the mind of an abuser, when you look at it, their mindset, their process, their train of thought is completely different. It's off. It's off by a lot, okay? Because again, as I said, and I'm gonna repeat it again, an abuser look at their victim as an object, not a person, an object. So since he or she is an object, she or he doesn't require what? Empathy. It's an object. You kick a ball, okay, that's what that ball is for, to be kicked, to be thrown, or whatever. And that's how the abuser looks at their victim. I can kick them. This is what they for. I can punch them. This is what they're for. That's why they're in my life. That's when the mask come off. That gentle teddy bear loving type of person, soft spoken. That's when that mask come off, and now they can be themselves and be like, okay, that's why they came into my life. They failed for me. No, the victim actually failed for that charm, that soft spokenness, that being there. They failed for the person that had them. They failed for those words of that one that had the mask on, not the one that has the mask off. Okay, so they're just an object, and they don't require any empathy. um she or he is only there for that person's gratification. That is the only reason why that person is there. Um, an abuser doesn't look at their victim as a separate person, but a mere extension of their selves. You see what I'm saying? when I said that when that mask come off, everything comes out. And hey, Prophet, how are you? That mask comes off, and again, they don't have empathy for that object, because an abuser looks at you as an object. Okay? As an object. I'm going to say this again. An object doesn't have feelings. As I said with the basketball, a basketball is made to bounce and kick. That's an object. There's no feeling in there's no feeling in that basketball at all. That's how the mindset of an abuser is. You are just an object to them. And by you being just that object, they're going to treat you just like that. Like this pen is made for me to write with, scribble, scrabble, or whatever. Okay, it has no feelings. This pen can't cry. If I throw it across the room and it hit the wall, it can't do none of that. And that's how the mindset of an abuser is when it comes to their victim. Okay, you don't you're only there for gratification. You're only there for their gratification. That's it. They actually look at you as a mere extension of their selves. You know, sometimes abusers, like I said, a man and a woman, no matter which one it is, can be an abuser. And exactly, like in the comments, LJ King Prophet Jones, I'm not gonna read his name like that, because y'all, I don't say his name like that that he got on here. But like Prophet Jones says in the comments, he says, you are their property. That's it. You're inside the mind of an abuser. You are their property. They feel as if they own you. They already willed you in with the mask that they wore on the outside. They already willed you in with that soft voice, that lovey-dovey, and that special line that people always say, I will not treat you like your ex did. I will not do that. I will not hurt you like they did, because you did not deserve that. That's the special line. Listen, that's the line, excuse me, that's the line that they use very often. That is one of the lines. I don't know how many times I'm telling y'all that I've heard that line. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You deserve to be treated like a queen, or, you my king. You deserve to be treated like a king. You're a good person. You don't deserve all that. That's just to will you in. That's just like you put bait on a fishing rod and you throw it out there in the water. What that fish gonna do? That fish coming for that bait. And when it grab onto it, what you do? You will it in. So you gonna throw it back, or you gonna look at it and be like, this look like a good, this look good. That's the mind. That's the inside the mind of an abuser. They will you in. They look at it and they look at you and it's like, should I keep this one, or should I, they think like that. And then something in their mind go ding, yeah, keep this one. Keep this one. She's good-hearted, or he's good-hearted, look like a good person. We're going to keep this one. And then those things in their mind begin to, play back to how they were brought up. Okay. Some abusers think of their childhood. Some abusers think of um, the fact that they was lacking things as they was growing up into their teenage life. And when they have you, some abusers has those visions, and the person that picked on them while they was growing up, or the person that caused them in their mind to feel that they were lacking things in their life, now you are that person. You become that person. So when they couldn't lash at that person, now that you're that person, they're going to lash out at you. This is how the mind of an abuser works. And a lot of people, that's why I say like, tag, and share. Because if people knew these things, do you know how many lives that we can save from domestic violence? If they knew that, okay, I'm in this relationship with this person, but I don't even know why they treat me like this. And some victims say they treat me like they talk to their mama. Have you ever heard someone say that? Have you ever heard someone in a relationship, maybe your girls, or you hanging out with your boys, or whatever, and you're in a relationship, or you're engaged or whatever, and you hear that person say, they treat me like, you know what I'm saying, they treat me like they talk to their mama. I ain't their mama. They ain't gonna be talking to me like that. Have you heard that before? That's because in their mind, they couldn't lash out at their mother the way their mother treated them. So as a woman, you are now the mother, and they're going to take out that anger on you. That's how their mind works. So if you ever, as a woman, if you ever hear yourself saying that about the person that you with, I need you to go ahead and leave the relationship, because it's going to get worse, because they are treating you the way they wanted to treat their mother, but they couldn't do it. So they're going to take it out on you as a man, as a male. When you begin to hear a woman say, and most women do say this, they begin to say, you get on my nerves. You get on my nerves. You remind me so much of my ex, or you know what I'm saying? You remind me so much of what I didn't want. You know, this ain't how my life was. That's not what I had for my life. When they start doing that, they either fail themselves coming up because they made wrong choices, okay? Or the person that they was with before you, okay? The person that they was with before you completely did them wrong. And Prophet says in the comments, preach, they see you as an object. That's why their feelings change. It goes from love bombing to devaluing so fast. They devalue what they no longer value. Oh my gosh, that's good. That's good. Let me read that again. That's good. Preach, they see you as an object. That's why their feelings change. It goes from love bombing to devaluing so fast. They devalue what they no longer value. That's real good. That's real good. I like that. That's a good, that's good. That right there. Y'all hear me stuttering. That's real good. That I like that. Let me read it one more time, okay, y'all? Let me read it one more time. Y'all know I get excited when it get when I talk domestic violence, because I lived that life and God brought me out of it so that I could be able to help somebody else come out of it before it's too late. Let me read that again. Prophet Jones says, preach. They see you as an object. Again, an object, that word object. They don't see you as a person, an object, okay? That's why their feelings change. That's good right there by yourself. You know what? Have you ever seen somebody pick up a soccer ball and they feel that they don't want this soccer ball anymore because it just ain't, it can't do the work that they want it to do? That's the same. Their feelings changed about that soccer ball, so they just gonna kick that thing on out the way and find them another one. That's the same with an abuser. Except, but they'll beat up on you first, they'll devalue you and all of that, and kick you to the side and go get their next victim after you about half dead and done lost your life. And it goes to say, it goes from love bombing. If you do not know what love bombing is, I did a segment, I did a show on love bombing. If you do not know what love bombing is, put it in the comments if you want to know more. And we're gonna do that segment again. We're gonna go touch on that again. Love bombing. If you even want to research love bombing on your own, research love bombing. And I'm so grateful that Prophet Jones brought that up. Research love bombing. I did a segment on it. So again, it goes from love bombing to devaluing so fast, they devalue what they no longer value. Take that in. Take that in. I'm going to leave that right there. Y'all, you know what? Take that in. Take that in. So again, inside the mind of an abuser, the abuser distorted view gives him or her the right to impose any demands on their partner and their family. The abuser feels justified to behave in any way that keeps their partner in line. Abusers feel it is always their partners who need counseling and that can take care. Excuse me, I can't even read my own notes, y'all. Abusers feel it is always their partners who need counseling and that they can take care of their life without help or support from others. This is their mindset. I'm telling you, this is their mindset. This information, I'm telling you, this information will save a life. This information will save a life. It really, really will. The abuser is afraid of not being perfect or making mistakes. Okay? He or she is afraid of not being perfect or making mistakes. This behavior is not normal. It is a toxic way of problem solving and interacting in a relationship. This is also the man or the woman's problem. Although he or she makes it seem like the male or female's problem, it's always going to be your problem. It's always going to be your fault anyway, okay? Anything that happens that becomes a problem is always your fault. It's always on you. It's going to always be on you until you decide to get up out of there and leave, until you decide to walk away. It's always going to be you. It's never going to be them. Okay, even if you apologize 50 million times, they will never see what they've done. They will never see it. Abuser will never see the harm that they bring to their victim, because they feel that they don't bring any harm, because they feel once they see you as that person that was, that caused them, let's just say, once they see you in that other life that they live and they couldn't do anything to that person, once they see you as that person, you're always that person. If that makes sense to you, you're always going to be that person. They don't ever take accountability for what they do. This is how they process things in their mind. An abuser is in a world of their own. Can they be saved? Can they get help? Yes, they can. But the thing with that is, an abuser has to want the help. Can you pray for that person? Yes, you can. You are to pray for that person. Can God change them? Yes, but you have to want the help. A lot of abusers refuse prayer. A lot of abusers don't pray for me. They block what's trying to happen because they don't want the change. That's the enemy. That's inside. That's the spirit that is inside that person that has controlled their train of thought. We're inside the mind of an abuser this evening. Again, we know that this behavior is not normal. It's a toxic way of problem solving and interacting in a relationship. All right. This is always, again, going to be your problem. It is possible for the abuser to change his or her thought patterns and beliefs, but his or her motivation must be internal. Okay? The abuser cannot be manipulated into change. One thing you cannot do is manipulate a manipulator. You cannot manipulate a manipulator who's a pro at it. Okay? You will get yourself hurt. You will see yourself in circles. And trust me, I'm a witness to it. You cannot manipulate a manipulator. Okay? It's not possible. You can't be, you can't use reverse psychology on an abuser. You can't do it. When one becomes an abuser, their thought process, the pattern in their mind, they're so far gone. You have to take baby steps with them. It's like, training a baby, teaching a baby how to walk. You have to train their minds over, because all they know is abuse. We're inside the mind of an abuser. When he or she starts admitting his or her behavior is wrong and takes responsibility for the problem she or he is causing in the relationship, only then he or she is open to getting help, real help for him or herself. Let me repeat that to you again. Because like I said, when you're dealing with an abuser and they are a manipulator, you cannot manipulate a manipulator. You can't do it. You just can't do it, okay? You cannot use reverse psychology on an abuser. Can they change? Can an abuser change? Yes, they can. Like I said, it's their thought process. Because when one becomes an abuser, they're gone. That's all they know is abuse. So you have to train their mind. You literally have to train their mind. You have to remove, you have to remove that thought process of always wanting to beat on something, okay? Always want to hit something. So, like I said, it's like you train a child, a baby, you teach a baby how to walk. That's how you do an abuser mind, step by step. If you go in trying to bombard it, you failed already because you did it wrong. And they may lash out at you. Prophet said you cannot finesse a finesser. Y'all, sometimes I just be like, you know what? When he started talking, I'm like, man, you cannot finesse a finesser. you can't. You can't. When you feel that you're getting over on an abuser, just know you're not. The best thing to do is leave. That's your getting over on that abuser. Is your freedom. Okay? That's your freedom. You can't get over them. So again, I wanted to repeat this section to you. When he or she starts admitting, okay, I told you they have to want to change. So when he or she starts admitting his or her behavior is wrong and takes responsibility for the problems he or she is causing in the relationship, only then he or she is open to getting help. When they start admitting, you know what? Yeah, that was wrong that I broke that glass upside your head. I mean, I'm just being honest. We gonna keep it whining. You know, I was wrong that I decided to flat out 4 your tires while you was at the job, and you know you had to catch the bus. I mean, that's their behavior. You know, that's their behavior. When they start admitting to those things, is then that they're taking responsibility. That's a big step for an abuser, is that they take responsibility for what they do, and they can get help right there. They can get help, so they can be changed. They can get real help for themselves right there. Vulnerability. Look, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Vulnerability is, let's go over this, okay? Because we're inside the mind of an abuser. So it says aspects that create a healthy, intimate relationship, such as honesty and opening up to his or her partner, makes the abuser feel vulnerable and unsafe. He or she wants things to work perfectly for him or her, but any imperfection seen on his or her side is not acceptable to him or her. He or she must feel strong, and being vulnerable isn't seen as a strength. That makes sense to you all? Did y'all catch that? We're inside the mind of an abuser. This is their process. This is their mindset. In the comments, Prophet says, sometimes they will own up to get what they want and never meant what they said. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they take responsibility to manipulate if they lose or feel they will lose you. That's good. That's good. They take responsibility to manipulate if they lose or feel they will lose you. This is the thought process of an abuser. Inside the mind of an abuser. And you know what, I'm so glad that God put it in my spirit to go over, revisit inside the mind of an abuser. I did the inside the mind of abuser back in 2021. And I needed to go over it because, like I said in the beginning, the rate of domestic violent relationships are going up. They're not going down. They're going up. And the rate of deaths inside those relationships are going up. They're not going down. They're going up. It's like they're getting higher and higher and higher. And my goal is to knock those numbers down, to give you all the information that you need. It's up to you to grasp the information, grasp what's being put out there. It's up to you to grasp it and take it with you. And just think about, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Is it worth it? Is it worth continue staying in this when I know I can potentially die? It's not. It's not worth it. So here's her reaction to feeling an abuser. We're talking about the inside the mind of an abuser. Here's her reaction to feeling vulnerable. Shuts down and gives the silent treatment. Lies to their partner to avoid intimacy and to take control. Makes him or her feel bad about him or herself if there's a conflict. Minimizes and makes light of situations and doesn't take him or her concerns seriously. Also inside the mind of abuser, let's go to emotional dependency. Although it may seem like the abuser is independent and can do without their partner, abusers are, on the contrary, very dependent. His or her neededness creates an unrealistic expectation of the relationship. When she or he feels helpless, he or she will react to that feeling by trying to control their partner and get him or her to stay with them by any means necessary. Emotional dependency. This is what inside an abuser mind. This is how they think. This is what they do. Okay? If you're going through any of this in your relationship, it's a red flag. Like I say, red flag on the play. It's time to go. We don't want to collect red flags. That's what we don't do. We don't let red flags build up, because red flags that build up, all that is built up anger. That's all that is. Built up anger that will eventually explode and when I say explode, will eventually get to a point where they may take your life. So you don't want red flags to build up, because red flags ain't nothing but anger. It's just anger. Red flag on a play. Gonna let that go. So their reaction to feeling emotional dependent is excessive jealousy, jealous rage, becoming sexually possessive, physical control, including physical abuse, takes ownership of his or her partner. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. That's, that's another famous line. That's another famous line that comes out of the mouths of an abuser. And you know what? Don't get me wrong, because some of those lines also come out of victim mouth. Uh-huh. Yes. Also, they monitor their partner's whereabouts. That's that's one that is a real tough one, because when one is wanting to leave out of a domestic situation, you want to do it safely. So when you are in a domestic violent relationship, don't tell your partner all of your whereabouts. You don't have to. You really don't have you don't have to. I know that sounds like, well, if I don't tell them and then I get caught, then I'm gonna get beat. You can't be beat if you don't tell them, because that's their goal, is to know every single spot you go to. That's their goal. Is to know what time you go to the bathroom, what time you eat breakfast, what you ate for breakfast, how many times you use the bathroom. You do it number one or number two. That's the goal of an abuser. That's the goal of an abuser. Also, threats or plans of homicide if his or her partner leaves and refuses to return. Refuse to return to them, because they don't want you leaving them. Low self-esteem. She or he has a fragile ego and has a hard time taking criticism, even if it's constructive. It's common that a man or woman with low self-worth will be more inclined to be abusive to others. Men or women with a healthy self-esteem would not react in this way. A woman or man who is down on themselves more easily reacts in anger. Their reaction to their low self-esteem blows up in anger over small incidents, is easily insulted, exerts his or her gender privilege, defines the roles in the relationship, uses his or her partner like a servant, put others down to feel better about themselves. This is the inside of the minds of an abuser. This is what's in their mind. This is how they think. Abusers have fear. Abusers have fear as well. The fear issues. The abuser has a fear of being mocked, embarrassed, or betrayed by their partner. He or she is afraid of losing their family, which they consider an extension of themselves. So what are their reactions to fear? What is an abuser reaction to fear? They rant about how life isn't fair or any injustice that he or she's been giving. shifts any responsibility away from themselves. Oh man, that's a big one too. They take, they shift the responsibility away. They don't, they start putting it over and putting it on somebody else. Um, blaming blaming their partner for the abuse, and start claiming that they are the victim, punishing their partner for being a separate person with their own needs. This is how they think, that you can't have needs, you can't have wants. This is how their process is, their thought process in their mind. You can't have no needs. What you need that for? I'm all you need. All you need is to go in there and take a bath. You don't need no more. You don't need no fancy panties and bras. What you need that for? Who gonna be seeing you? That's how they think. An abuser, that's how they think. Isolating their partner from their family and friends, doesn't let them spend time with others when they aren't present. So let's talk about the logic of brainwashing. And we're inside the mind of an abuser. Okay? Abusers use warped logic to brainwash their victims. Okay? They use methods very similar to those of correctional officers, who know that to control prisoners, they have to have full cooperation. Subversive manipulation of the mind and destruction of the victim are the perfect tools to enable abusers to succeed. Brainwashing. This is what they do. This is what abusers do. This is what's in their mind daily. Daily. The process of brainwashing. The abuser used several methods of servant methods to brainwash his victim or her victim. They use indulgence. Occasionally, the abuser will comply with the wishes of the victim to motivate to meet with their every demand. Resistance. The abuser manipulates the victim to become mentally and physically dependent upon them, which reduces the ability of the victim to resist his or her abuse. The abuser suggests to the victim that it is futile to resist their demands, which is the quality of having unlimited or very great power. That's one thing about an abuser. They have to have power. If they don't have any power, they feel that they lost. So when it comes to inside the mind of an abuser will always feel that they have to have power. They have to have power. You have to listen to them, and that you are just an object. That's all you are. You are an object to them. You are not allowed to have emotions. You are not allowed to have any wants or needs. You are an object. And in their mind, an object doesn't need to look good. An object doesn't need to feel good. In their minds, an object is supposed to be told what to do, pushed around. They don't look at you as a human. They don't. If you are we're wrapping it up. If you are in a domestic situation, there is help out there, and there is free help. And then there is some help out there that you um, would have to pay, because it takes a lot of time to get someone out of a domestic relationship. And I say that because many of victims will get out, and when they get out, they will go back. They will go back. So a lot of, I hear a lot of people say, why I gotta pay for help? Some people charge because, they put in all them hours in helping. You took all the advice in and you left, and then you went back. So then you're coming back to that person that helped you the first time. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. So if you are in a domestic situation, friends, spouse, whoever it is, don't let the red flags build up. Get out while you can. Get out while it's early. You are not a punching bag. You do not deserve to be beat on. Nobody deserves to be beat on, and nobody deserves to be looked at as an object. So, thank you all so very much for joining. Thanks for the comments, interacting back with me on this segment. Be sure to tune in next Thursday on Self Love Thursday, as we're keeping the flames up high, the fire still burning. We will have no other than our special guest. April Fro Oliver will be our special guest on next Thursday. That is the 20th. That's coming. And also, Let's Talk Domestic Violence will be back up and running on next Friday at 8 p.m. Also on the Cornelia White page, not this page, my other page. Go on and join me for some good teaching and preaching on the woman at the well on the 22nd, and that's going to be Saturday, Facebook Live. Um, if you have a survivor story and you would love to share your survivor story, we would love to hear it. We would love to bring you on to I Am to share your story. Also, we would love to put you in our digital newsletter. There has not been a digital newsletter for this month due to my surgery and some other things, but it will be out. The digital newsletter will be out in August. I will have that out in August going forth. That will be, it'll be out every month. Also join us on the 27th. We're shutting the month of July out with a big bang. On the 27th, that Thursday, on Self Love Thursday, we will have no other than Psalmist Cynthia J will be joining us. Our special guest will be joining us and dropping some jewels on us about self-love, what self-love means to her. If you want to be on Self Love Thursdays to drop some jewels, give us some good tips about self-love, how to love ourselves, and the importance of self-love, I invite you to be my guest. All you have to do is email me, and you can go onto my page, and all the information is on there. My email is on there. You can DM me on there, and we can set up a time for you to come on that, one of those Thursdays, for you to stop on in and bless us with some good jewels. Also, don't forget about Healing Beyond the Abuse podcast. Is still up and running. I'm still working on that last episode, and I'm gonna have it out. I'm gonna have it out very, very soon, and we're gonna shut that season down and jump on in to our next season. I'm super, super excited. As I always say, I thank God for I am everything that I've been through. If you missed Self Love Thursday, last night's live with no other than Pastor Carlene Roberts, listen, go check out the replay because it was fire. It was fire. Go check out the replay. It's up and running. Go check it out. Stay connected. We are now on YouTube. Woo, 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 woo. We are now on YouTube streaming live. Go follow us on YouTube because we are now on YouTube. We're still on TikTok and we still are on IG. So all that information will be left right here at the end of this live. You guys, also, if you need help with any type of domestic violence, if you are in any type of domestic situation, information will be left on here for you at the end of this live. Jot it down. Use it. It's free. It's free. The help is out there and it's free. Again, thank you all so much for joining in tonight on I Am Let's Talk Domestic Violence with your girl, Cornelia White out of Atlanta, Georgia. Listen, I love you guys so, so much. I thank you guys for the support. All the ones that like and share. I thank you. That's support. That's support. We're getting the word out, and that's good. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Remember that God loves you. Remember that you are special. Remember that you are loved, and remember that you are worthy. You are worth every good thing that comes your way. Also, there is a support group before I shut off. There is a domestic violence. I am has a domestic violence support group on Facebook. You can you can check it out from this page right here, I Am's platform. You can check it out if you would like to join the group. It's very confidential. It's not public. If you would like to join the group, please feel free to join it. It's a judge-free zone. It's support. It's been open for 2 weeks now, and I'm looking for it to grow. That we encourage each other in this group. Your story can help somebody else. Your story can save somebody's life. So, as I say, the information will be up at the end of this segment, and the support group is here if if you need that, even if you need that help, even if you are a survivor. Many times we fail to realize, as being survivors, some people still have those thoughts, and those thoughts come up about what they went through, and it still triggers certain things. They still have that hard time of letting go some things. That support is there in the group. So I love you all. You guys have a blessed night, and remember that God loves you as well. Good night. Well, good night.